Thirsty Thursday. Now, I want to talk to you guys about tea. You all know that I am a hot beverage girl, but 90% of the time it's coffee. But I also love tea. And at one point in my life, I was very much into tea. And I was on a tea forum, and my name on there was Sandy's Cuppa. And I have got teas from all over the world. And I use tea to de-stress. So I use coffee as my everyday beverage. But when I'm stressed, I use the process of making tea to de-stress and start developing my attitude of gratitude type thing. So I thought that that's what we would discuss today. I would show you my tea ritual and we would just make a cup of tea together and use it, show you how I use it as a coping mechanism when my eating disorders want to kick in. Alrighty guys, let's get into it. Hi guys, I don't know how well you can see me with the lighting. Back my toad up a little bit. So when I was on that forum for tea, Sandy's Cuppa, I got asked to review a tea for this company. And I explained to them that I had accidentally joined that forum, that I was not a professional tea taster. I wasn't qualified and I didn't know any of that stuff. And they were like, no, you are exactly who we're looking for. We want somebody that doesn't have a preconceived notion of what our tea should taste like, nor do we want a pretentious review. We want an honest opinion on what you think of our tea. I was like, well, all right, then send it to me and I'll give it a try. So they sent me the tea and I tried it and I gave them a review. And they posted my review on the front page of their website. I was so excited. I mean, it was just, I had only been drinking teas at that time for less than a month because I thought that I hated tea. I grew up with my mom not knowing how to prepare tea, so it was always bitter and had a lot of tannins, and it was horrible because she didn't know how to brew it. And once I learned that tea got steeped at different temperature for different lengths of time, depending on the leaf, it made a world of difference. So I became a very big tea lover and tried to learn as much as I could about tea. So after I reviewed the tea and they had put my review on the front page of their website, a few weeks went by and they sent me in the mail a couple tea sets. Now, I do not know, like I said, I do not know a lot about proper tea rituals or all that stuff, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but they sent me this set, which is, I think it's pronounced a yixing pot. So they sent me with, and it's a very large set. There's 12 of these little cups in this little pot, and the little server, and it looks like a kid set, but it's not. This is a tea ritual set. So I decided, even though I didn't know how to do it properly, that I would take what I was seeing online and tweak it to fit myself. So I did that and developed my own tea ceremony for times when I'm stressed and I need to remind myself to develop an attitude of gratitude and be grateful. So they also sent me this tea set, and this one is called Guy Wayne. I think that's how you say it. And it is very beautiful. And again, you think it might look like a kid's set, but it's not. This is a proper size for this type of tea ceremony. And it comes with also the steeping boat, or steeping, I'm drawing a blank. steeping pitcher and the little cups. And it also has 12 little serving cups with it. Okay, so I just love these two little sets, and I use them when I'm stressed or when I'm wanting to meditate and home alone. So whenever I feel stressed, as soon as I feel the stress coming on and think that I want to binge eat and my normal coffee is not curbing that, I'll get the teapot a going and get me out pu'er. Now, I call these coins. I don't know if that is exactly what they're supposed to be called. And drop it down in there. I'm so sorry about that, guys. That was my dad calling, and you can't ignore your daddy. Alrighty, so we already dropped the coin down in here. So what we're gonna do is take our boiling water and we're gonna pour a little bit in here. And this is gonna just be a real quick pour. And then we're going to give it a rinse. That's just to open up those leaves. And don't worry about the dripping tea. I should actually have a tea tray, and eventually I'll get one of those, but I don't have it right now. So, and then this first little bit, we're just going to pitch. We don't want to drink that. We were just opening up our tea. So, but we will give a little bit to our tea pets here. Give him a little bit. Now he's got a well, so I can give him most of that. And then just a drizzle on the toad and a drizzle on the lion. Okay, so then our next pour, we're going to leave on the leaves for 5 seconds. And then each consecutive pour, because I'll pour this up to 10 times, each consecutive pour we put on for a little longer. So like we'll go to 7 seconds and then 9 seconds. And we'll just keep adding a couple seconds on each consecutive pour to steep it just a little bit longer. And I've steeped it up to 10 times. And it changes the flavor each time you steep. So you're able to take note of how the tea changes as you move along. And with each steep, then I meditate on what it means to me and how I feel and what I have to be grateful for and thankful and all the positives in my life. So it helps me to focus. So okay, let's go ahead and pour that. Now this one will be for our first cup. And I do remember what this is called, the fair pour pitcher. So that way, if I was going to say, have somebody join me in my tea ceremony, I could re-steep this again to give me more tea in my pitcher. And then when I distribute it amongst my friends, it all has the same flavor because of course the next steep will change. So if I gave half of them out of this and then re-steeped it, and the other half would have a different flavor tea. So we'd want it to be a fair pour. So I would mix them both in here, pour them both into here, and then give everybody a little sample from the pitcher. So that way they would see how that blended and we'd all be tasting the same tea. So at this point is when I would meditate on things I have to be thankful for. Being 10 months into my journey and still here. Love this tea. So I would go on with that until the tea lost its flavor. So however many steeps you can get out of it. And then for the Guy Wayne, it is the same type of process. You put a coin in there. and you wake him up. And you can use the lid of your cup here to sort of open him up a little bit down in there. And then there's no more room in here. So I have a pitcher sitting over here to pour my rinse. Okay. And then you put your strainer in here, because once those leaves open up, then you're going to have loose leaf tea, and you want to be able to catch any. Don't know. Can you see how pretty? What do I have to be thankful for? That my blood sugars have come down to normal. But this is the ceremony I use to center myself and to be mindful. And by the time you're done doing this, it takes me normally a good hour, hour and a half. So sometimes I'll have to turn the pot back on and get the hot water hot again. But it also is so relaxing, and it makes, sometimes I'll lead in and I'll go ahead and maybe do another coin and end up sitting here half the day just enjoying tea and daydreaming and thinking. But that's what I had for you today on Thristy Thursday. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you don't have some kind of ritual to bring yourself balance and mindfulness, make up something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be based around tea or coffee or anything to focus your mind on those times when we sort of get manic and depression settling in, or your eating disorders trying to take over. And if you don't have any of that stuff, just normal everyday stress. Sometimes not sometimes, it's wonderful to pamper ourselves. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to get on with my day, and I'm going to enjoy this tea, and I will talk to you tomorrow on Fashion Friday. Blessings.